Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 119 on February 13th, 2019. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hello.
And Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on, guys?
Mostly just, instead of a normal day, trying to survive the week, and it's not much going on.
You called me in at the right time. 30 seconds later, I would have been lost, and there would have been no hope of getting me in. My brain, since last night, has been focused on one thing and one thing only. Getting back to my computer so I can play more Apex Legends.
So you are playing that?
I downloaded it yesterday and played one match, and I'm hooked. So
what about that drew you in as opposed to something that was more popular for the last year and a half, like Fortnite?
I had always wanted to play Fortnite, but when I heard about Apex Legends and it was so new and stuff, I just was, last night for whatever reason, was like, let's see what this is about. And so I probably would have responded the same way to Fortnite, but fortunately I saved a year of my life and didn't. But now it's all gone. There's no hope of productivity ever again.
All right.
Apex Legends was smart in the way they announce themselves because it's a free game, and they basically announce themselves and saying, hey, we got this new game called Apex Legends. It's out now. Download it and try it. And then they got some Twitch streamers, some famous ones, to download and try it, which literally it blew up in their face. That their rate of growth, I think somebody said that it took Fortnite to reach 25 million players like a month, and it took Apex Legends a week.
Yeah, so they're benefiting from the reputation of Fortnite, though.
Right.
Because before Fortnite, free shooters weren't really held in good regard.
And Fortnite, I wouldn't call it a very good shooter, if you ask me.
I mean, it's good and it's fun for what it is, and which is why a lot of people were hesitant and a lot of people didn't know about it. But Fortnite became so popular, it became, my parents know the term Fortnite. So now, now Apex is able to come in and say, hey, we've got Fortnite. Something better. And then it was like, oh wait, I know what Fortnite is. Whereas Fortnite was banking off of PUBG, but I had to have someone explain to me what the hell is a PUBG.
It's really, the gameplay is actually really solid. I mean, I only got one match in. I died fairly quickly, but it's tight. Like, I did the training sessions and stuff. The gameplay is really solid. The graphics are outstanding. I was super happy with it, and I was happy that the team that took me out, that took out my squad, they won the match. So we basically got second place.
Okay, well, let me ask you, can you hide in a bush the entire match and end up winning?
No. Because
okay, then I'll stick with Fortnite, because that's my strategy. That's the only reason I ever moved forward.
Have you ever won with that strategy?
Victory
accidentally, yes.
Like, I don't know. There is this thing, like this ring that closes in smaller and smaller. So I don't know if
that's
you
like
touch
Fortnite,
that, you die. So it is possible that maybe that would kill the other people and you would be the last survivor. So in theory, possibly hide in a bush.
The only reason I ever won a match on Fortnite is because, like I said, I kept hiding in bushes where no one would see me. And there was 3 of us left, the two remaining people killed each other. It was like a mutual death, so I just won by default. And I was like,
So,
I'll take it.
That's cool. I have also downloaded and played one match with it. It's a little intimidating because it's just intimidating to be in a game that you depend upon other people. Because unlike Fortnite, where you can go solo and just see how far you can go, this one it puts you in a squad, even with random people. But the systems inside of it are really nice for easy communications, and the ping system works really well. And the game is basically like Fortnite / Overwatch because you get heroes to choose from. So it is fun.
I love the concept. Said the one match I played, it felt really good. So I'm interested in playing more. Very excited for it.
Yeah,
Just to finish real quick, I'm actually more interested in Anthem. We'll see what happens with it though.
yeah. It's what Matt and I were talking about before the game. Before the show. I just happened to see a commercial for Anthem, and I don't know. I'm completely invested in Asphalt right now, so
Yes.
I'm still playing that on a daily basis for over a month. So it's that is saying a lot if I am playing something every day, because I don't typically. I'll play something for 5 minutes and then forget about it. So
Is Anthem out or is it coming?
It's not out yet. They had a demo a weekend ago, and they might be doing another demo soon, and it's coming within the month, I believe.
yeah, if you have an Xbox One, it's coming to Xbox One. Otherwise, I guess it's available on PC.
It's going to be coming to all the systems but Switch, I believe.
Oh, so it will be on the PS4.
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Oh, poor Switch users.
You know what? They can barely play Fortnite. All right. No,
All right.
Switch is for different things, so that's okay.
So we should switch over to what we're actually here to talk about.
I guess we should talk about actual stuff. Let's start with the story about Epix. Epix is, of course, that movie channel you remember getting on your Dish or Direct TV account, where you could get these awesome movies that a whole bunch of them available for a fairly reasonable price. Well, they've not had their own streaming service this whole time, basically leaning into the traditional providers until now, where they are now announcing that you can go ahead and get a Epix streaming service for $6 a month. This is going to be available for all your Roku and Amazon Fire TVs right away, and Android, and also you'll be able to use your Android and iOS machines. Excuse me, the Fire TV and the Roku support is coming soon.
So, let me get this right, because I'm pretty sure that Epix has been available as an add-on. So is this their standalone that they're...
Yep.
Okay. I would say, because I remember them being an option on through Amazon Fire OS and
you
other things.
Get it on the Sling TV and PlayStation View for sure. So
that's essentially just the content, from the channel. So they're announcing a standalone for about $6. That's good. That's on par with Stars. I can't say I've ever viewed anything on Epix, so I don't know what to expect.
Epix is like everything that's is a huge selection of not really recent but semi-recent films that have recently come out. With a year ago, but everything.
I remember the only reason I know the name Epix is because of their blanketed radio campaign in '98 or '99. That was movies, 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 movies. And it was just like, and it was on like 20 times an hour if you listen to the radio, which we all did back then. Yeah, it was. But that may be one reason I may have subconsciously actively avoided them all these years. Just because of the
of the jingle.
Oh, just because of the harassment, the constant harassment for like several years. But yeah, well, good for them. $6 is not a bad price.
Yeah,
that sounds good to me. Samsung's doing their new iTunes ready TVs, and they are now releasing them available for you to go pick up. Samsung started talking about their 2019 QLED TVs, and they're now rolling out. The different lines are going to be available with all different kinds of sizes and models available to you. Looks like the first set is the Q900 series, and it's going to be starting at $5,000 for a 65-inch model, and going up to $15,000 for the 85-inch model. Apparently, there are going to be other models available.
Yeah, it says the RU line, I think, is the budget line. That I'm not sure if those are currently available or if they're still coming soon. One thing to note, though, while iTunes is available, AirPlay is not.
No, that's right. The new AirPlay 2 standard is not going to be ready at launch for these TVs.
So I assume they will be adding that to at a later date via a software update. But as we have talked about before, Samsung has been trying to position themselves in more of the Apple model. So I would not be surprised if they say, nope, if you want AirPlay, you got to buy a new TV. Because that's what Apple would do.
You'd expect or hope that on an 8K right now, a $5,000 to $15,000 TV, that they'd include a software update and with a major feature release that can be updated software wise within 6 months. But
with the budget one, I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if they say nope, get a new one.
But realize the 5K isn't the budget one, right? Like that's just a small TV.
No. But the RU line. This is also coming on the RU line.
Yeah,
which is the budget.
It's very likely on the RU line that they'll do that. The insanity of a 65-inch 8K is a little crazy. Like I don't understand why you would ever pay $5,000 for a 65-inch 8K TV. You could get a $3,000 OLED that would look better, and it just would look better.
Bleeding edge, early adopter, bragging rights. There's a lot of reason that there's the same reason that people bought a 32-inch plasma for $10,000 when Pioneer was making them. Well,
like I said, the thing to realize though is that as we've discussed before, I think that it's like I could understand an extremely wealthy individual paying $15,000 for an 85-inch TV, or the probably $30,000 for a 98-inch screen. There's no price on that yet, but probably a ton. I get that, but 65-inch doesn't even make sense to make. You would get literally a better image.
Oh no, I'm not arguing with you. I agree that's an absolute waste of money, but there are people that are gonna spend it because if they want an 8K and they're not willing to shell out the $15,000 for the 85-inch, they'll say, it's $10,000 cheaper for the 65. I'll go with that.
Yeah. That kills me that there are people out there like that. That I agree there probably are some. Yeah. If you want to be a baller, you got to go all the way and be a baller. Buy the freaking 15K TV, even if you got to mortgage your car.
You don't understand. The guy already bought the $15,000 one, but he's got to have the second set, and it won't fit in that room.
In his bedroom.
Obviously,
you got to have the 65-inch.
It's got to be a little bit smaller so it doesn't, go over the 5-foot wall. You don't want to block your way.
You can fit any size TV in your room you want. You just mount it on the ceiling. That's where all the real estate is.
That $5,000 TV is your second TV for rich folks.
That's the one that goes in the bathroom.
That's fair. Sorry, everybody. I forgot. I'm just not having enough vision.
Exactly.
Not feeling baller enough.
Yeah.
Thanks for straightening me out, Matt.
Yeah, well, also you could for the $15,000 you get the 85. Well, why don't you just buy four of those $5,000? It's only
Now,
$5,000 more, and then you put them in the quad position, and you
yeah.
can get the screen to blow up, and so you have your 16K television already in the
See, now
future.
we get why
Awesome.
like
Because Matt,
now we get
or
Matt's perspective on the world.
Matt,
He's
or I keep saying Matt,
I
Mike.
gotta have 64K, man. I'm gonna do 8 by 8 by 8 by 8 by 8.
All I had to say for you, Mike, is want to be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala. And I'm not
Yep.
going to go on.
All right, let's move on to AT&T, and they're more of dripping out of interesting information about their new streaming service. Their streaming service is going to be announced sometime this year, very coming up soon, very likely, where they're going to be taking a lot of their content and giving it away as the streaming service for their Warner Brothers and the HBO content that they own. They are going to be possibly working on some new content that will be original to the new service, but that content will not be appearing on that network until 2020. Until then, you're going to have to deal with the old classics, and they're even claiming that they might be doing things like pulling Friends and other awesome or whatever crown jewels is what they call in the article away from other streaming services so they can be exclusive to this network.
Yeah. And while that at first that not until 2020 sounds terrible,
Yeah.
that's next year. I mean, a
Yeah.
1 year wait. Yeah. I mean, sure. Especially if you're just starting something new. I mean, people have been waiting what 5-6 years for the Apple stuff that still isn't here. So 1 year, meh.
Yeah, well, the new stuff that's going to show up on there, well, technically they'll get new stuff on there anyways because they have HBO, and I'm sure HBO is going to have new stuff this year, and I'm sure it'll be available on it one way or
No,
another. No,
HBO is not making
it's its own
anything
service.
new uh, anytime soon. So
Really, they have basically said we got nothing on the plate this year.
as far as I know, Game of Thrones was
Oh,
shelved and a bunch of other stuff that just to
oh,
piss people off.
HBO is giving up. Is basically that what you're saying?
I think so.
For HBO, that's sad. That's really sad. I
Yeah.
really feel bad about that for them, man.
AT&T said, we don't know what to do with you, and they're just gonna they shut down production because that's what AT&T does, right?
Yeah. The thing that most interests me in this article is that there will be original DC Comics material. And so that is definitely interesting to me. If they come through and they can produce TV quality DC material, not movie quality DC material, because everybody knows that DC movies suck, DC TV shows are good, just like the reverse for Marvel, right? And that's not totally true.
But
there are some good Marvel
is
TV shows.
DC stuff coming to this service? Because DC announced a while back their own service.
DCU.
Yeah, DCU.
DCU.
Well,
Oh.
So
I mean,
wouldn't all DC stuff be going there?
yeah, I mean, the Warner Media has the licensing rights to the DC material, so
Maybe it'll go to both places. You could
But yeah,
choose how you want to get it.
that's what I was getting at is since they've created a dedicated home for DC, I can't imagine that there will be too much DC stuff cross-pollinating because they want to drive everybody they possibly can to that standalone service.
yeah,
So
it's interesting. Certainly, if there's a good if there's good original DC material that's only available here, I'll be coming here. If it's available in both places and there's more in the DC other place, then I'll probably go there. I can't imagine buying two services to get DC material though, so
yeah.
Hopefully they don't try.
I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if anything that's new, anything DC shows up on this Warner Time Warner or this Warner broadcasting thing, because like I said, they just built a dedicated home. I think the people would rage if it'd be like CBS just did their thing and they forced everybody into that ecosystem to get Star Wars. Well, if they make another Star Wars service and it's on like available someplace else, people are gonna be pissed.
We know you mean Star Trek, but that's okay.
Or yeah, whatever. They're the same thing, right?
Yeah, totally, exactly.
Well, and how long ago was the DC Universe?
It's coming soon.
Out?
Yeah,
it's like I don't think it's out yet. It was soon-ish.
I wonder if the intention is that will be absorbed by this. I mean,
I doubt it, because it was so recent that they announced it that they would have already been working on this other thing. So
interesting. I don't know. President of TBS TNT. It's entirely possible he's speaking incorrectly. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see.
All right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about Breaking Bad. Anybody remember that show? That show was popular on AMC, where you got to follow the story of a poor teacher who's having to make meth in order to survive in this world, this dreary world. I've actually never seen an episode of it, so I don't know that much about it.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
I haven't seen it, but yeah, okay.
But there is work. They are working on a movie based on that series, and apparently it looks like because of the good ratings they've been getting through Netflix, is that they are going to be possibly releasing the movie first on Netflix and then later on AMC.
So I don't get. Are they just doing a supercut?
I actually don't know. I think this is actually, from what I'm reading here, it looks like it is actually a continuation of the story, and maybe if they will be doing more to it. I don't know. Now, Web Magic tells me I have to watch Breaking Bad now. Well, we'll see about that.
Actually, there is already a supercut out there that you can watch. It will take you I think 2 hours. And you get basically the whole story, which I assume is where the inspiration from this came from. Somebody did it. I think it's on YouTube. I've heard people talk about it, but
I don't know. This is being written by Gillian, which apparently is the writer for the film for the series. So he's writing this whole thing out. So.
No, but what you're saying, I believe the inspiration that this whole story could be effectively told in a 2-hour movie came from the supercut that became very popular. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not usually a big fan of watching stuff I've already seen, especially if it's told in from a slightly different perspective or whatever. It's not usually enough to get me. But I know there's going to be somebody out there that's going to be excited about this.
Well, I mean, good opportunity for somebody like myself and or Matt to actually catch the phenomenon without having to waste, 5 seasons of 10 or 13 episodes, an hour long each. I've heard great things about it. It never particularly appealed to me, but I wouldn't mind watching a 2-hour movie just to see what everybody's so hyped about.
So, I think I've mentioned it before, but this is a show that I watched from start to finish through the mail, courtesy of Netflix. One disc at a time.
Nice.
And there would be weeks and weeks where the next disc wasn't available, and I would have to manipulate my queue to prevent the next disc from coming. Because that was, for those of you that are too young to remember, Netflix, when Netflix was proper Netflix, your queue, you ranked your queue, and if the first thing wasn't available, it would just jump to the next one. So you had to make sure that if there was multiple discs in a series, you had to put them all down at the bottom of your list Otherwise, you're waiting for disc 2. It's not available, so they'd send you disc 3. And you're like,
It was I tried to watch one series that way and gave up and said, screw it, no more series. I'm just doing movies this way. Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not, you can still get your movies through Netflix, through the mail. I have family members who still do that. So,
That amazes me.
Yeah. All right. HP's got a new headset that's coming out. Their headset is going to be on Microsoft's mixed reality program, which is their kind of open standard for VR in the Windows platforms. What's interesting about this one is that it's going to be boasting these ridiculously high resolution displays inside. Each eye gets a 2160 by 2160 display, which will give you the highest quality out of any one of these mainstream displays. This is a really sharp image. You won't get the screen door effect, at least that's what they claim. There's no price currently mentioned on it. It's being said for both professional and enterprise users and consumers. So HD, where you disappear into the world.
I am immediately skeptical about anything that is boasted as sharp and goes on your face.
With a warning.
I mean, are you gonna cut yourself? You gonna put out an eye? Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested in checking this out. It looks a lot like a Vive with the Pro mod with the add-on headset, like earphones and stuff. So looks like a standalone Vive. And I like the Vive, so yeah.
Well, the mixed reality headsets that from the Windows platform, there's been a couple of them from different companies. Like Lenovo had a pretty popular one out there, and so there's various games you can do with it. Obviously, Minecraft is one of the more popular ones. So,
and if you look at it, they are obviously thinking very forward thinking, because if you look at the back of the head, you've got the perfect circle where eventually they jack directly into your brain, and anybody familiar with pretty much every genre of sci-fi has delved into that somehow. But yeah.
One of my favorite parts about the Matrix is when they are pulling the thing out of your head, and the look on the actor's face, and it was like, yeah, like it's like sucking your brain out.
Well,
it's just like that's pretty good.
They basically got a lobotomy the hard way. Going through the nose where the tissue is soft. Not through like bone and yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's this is a pretty exciting piece of hardware. Improving the image quality and the resolution. I've used a fair number of these. There's almost always some amount of screen door, even on the Vive. The newer I haven't tried the newest generation of Rift that is supposedly a little bit higher resolution and stuff. So, but this is, as they're mentioning, this is getting up to like 4K levels of resolution when you combine the eyes. So it's pretty solid.
Yeah, rock on. Cool. So did they say when this is going to be? It just says coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to sign into Facebook to use it, I might be interested.
And you want the Vive.
Yeah.
All right, Netflix has this cool feature where it can automatically download new episodes of shows. Actually, this is an old story. What are we talking about?
No. It's now for iOS.
Oh, okay.
You know how it is. When Apple finally gets something, it's like big news. When everybody got it like a year ago, nobody cared.
And Apple invented it. Got it. PSA, yes, Apple users can now get the automatic downloading in their Netflix app as well now. Yay!
Yeah. I actually had to fight with this a little bit when we went to CES because there was a couple when I was looking for stuff to download for the plane. Netflix kept saying, "Hey, pick a show and we can download the next episode when you're done watching." I said, "No, you can't. I'm on an airplane." That is completely pointless. It's like, but hey, we can download the next episodes for you, and it's like, no, leave me alone. So yeah, I was actually surprised to see this story that I thought it was already everywhere, but apparently iOS. If you're an iOS user,
Fine.
congratulations.
Yeah, just uh, stand in line to wait. That's what it's all about with iOS.
Oh, don't be so hard on those people. The phones are
Yeah,
nice.
sorry, Jimmy's not here to
Yeah, I
himself.
will stand in as Jimmy and say that they are very nice phones, and you get what you pay for. You just have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So,
You get
all
what
right,
you pay for a year after you pay for it.
that's true, but in a really nice package. IGTV is this feature that's on Instagram where you can go ahead and post your videos. You remember that? Literally, yeah, really, it's a thing. Anyways, if you use Instagram and somebody that you follow has somehow posted one of the videos accidentally, their video will show up in your feed now, and it looks like the reaction so far is no, we don't want this.
Yeah.
Thanks, W. Scottish
I
one.
love the headline of the article, and then the tagline is literally nobody asked for this.
I think, but I think they missed the boat. It should have been hashtag whatevs.
Yeah.
This is Facebook trying to Facebookize their IG Instagram. It feels like to me they're trying to figure out a way to take what their new platform that's going to be popular and looking at how things are moving and changing possibly with Facebook. They're looking at the future and trying to move their advertisement into the new situation. So kind of was expected. I don't trust anything that's Facebook, so I don't care.
Yeah, no, me neither. I've actively, as of like October, I have actively turned to somewhat avoiding using Facebook to actively avoiding it. So
I've been doing that for a few years now. So
I yeah, I've been toying with the idea of deleting my Facebook account and stuff, and it's kind of one of those things where you, there's just a few places where it comes in handy to have it, just like for signing into there's a few games where I played where you can only get the link by signing in with the game or whatever. Since I don't actually have any data in my Facebook account anymore because
they have data on you, so don't worry about it. It's good.
I'm not terribly concerned about it, but
yeah, I'm caught in the position where I would like to delete it, but there are many people that I have no other way of communicating with, like a lot of people I was in the Navy with. That is, so it's like, well, I'll keep the account. I just don't use it.
See, I have this other problem is that I abandoned Facebook before they announced that you could delete your account because that was a thing that they announced recently. But I had abandoned it, and they also said that after a certain amount of time of you abandoned accounts, they're going to delete them automatically. So I need somebody to go and check to see if my account's been deleted for me without me logging in, because you logging in once reactivates your account fully, essentially. So just curious.
What is the account? We'll do this live on the air.
I don't remember. Probably my email address. I don't know. The problem is looking for
was your
Matthew
picture
Ross.
2 hands in the mud sticking up giving thumbs up?
No.
Okay.
That was not me.
Are you a maintenance worker at the Mall of America?
I am not. This is going to be a long list because know how many Matthew Ross there are?
There's one in do you go to California State University Northridge?
Nope.
Riverboat Master at the Sandbox of Life?
No.
I'm pretty sure that's not you on a wakeboard tower,
Nope.
on a boat.
Just keep checking. We'll move on to the next story.
Are you a musician band?
No.
But there is a band, Matthew Russ.
Yes, I'm sure there. Oh, you see, that's
I'm
the funny
putting that.
thing. Matthew Ross is such a. I mean, just in Washington State, there are thousands of Matthew Rosses.
You didn't live in Chehalis when you signed up, did you?
No, I've never lived in Chehalis.
Okay, well, I mean, it's not terribly far from where you are, so it's possible.
No, that's not that far.
Lives in Olympia. It's close.
Yeah, that's actually where I live. So,
okay.
Just how many Matthew Rosses are there in Olympia? That's the next question, because there's probably at least a dozen.
Do you have 2 dogs on a boat in your picture?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like you, but maybe 10 years older, and
it's one of my many shadow accounts.
All right, I'm just gonna go through and friend every single one of these Matt Rosses. It's including this dude right here, which is clearly you.
Oh yeah,
the only face,
him.
but
he looks very noble, sir.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Sling TV has been basically in the lead for the number of counts of people signed up for their streaming service compared to the other streaming services, and they've just announced that they got the end of the year with 2.4 million subscribers. But interestingly enough, that has been a big slowdown compared to how many they've been picking up last year. So this means that that looks like DirecTV is catching up and might become the new...
No, they just passed DirecTV now. DirecTV Now used to be in the lead. DirecTV Now has actually been hemorrhaging since they shut down a lot of the new the promotions. That was, I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago. I mean, but you know, you're not going to have massive gains forever. Eventually, you hit
saturation.
You hit your saturation point, you plateau until you find a new way to draw new people in.
Right.
But I mean, 2.4 million, that's not a bad number.
No, it's not. And their platform is a decent platform for people looking to try out streaming services if they still have a traditional cable or satellite system. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Dish thing is interesting to me. I mean, they put a lot of money into acquiring subscribers, a lot of big deals with free hardware and stuff. And I wonder how that worked out for them, because they, I think they misjudged how sticky their service would be. And, you know, they came from a world where people didn't change cable companies that often. But, man, unsubscribing to a web service is, you know, something people do every day.
I mean, here's some numbers, though. So this was reported as part of their Q4 2018 earnings. But even with this number, they are nowhere near making up for the subscriber loss from Dish satellite TV service. They lost 1.125 million satellite TV subscribers during 2018, up from the 995,000 it lost the year before. They added a net gain of 205,000 TV subscribers in 2018, but that's also down from the 711,000 they added the year before. So, they've gained some people, but they're hemorrhaging money on the satellite side.
Yeah.
Good news is once the transition is basically complete, they won't have the expense of the satellite side to deal with anymore. So,
but on the bright side, apparently there is a way out of your Dish subscriber or your contract, because you know, in the past it was believed that once you signed that, you were basically trapped for life. that there was like a gym membership. There is no way to get out of it, but apparently there is because they lost a lot of people.
As a former Dish TV user, and I like that my service I got from them. Thank you very much. Once you finish your contract, it's not hard to leave at all. So.
I thought it was like a deal with the devil where there's fine print that you can't read. It's so small that
no problems. But if you pay off all your equipment and pay off your 2 years worth for your contract, because usually you can get a 1-year contract. But the 2-year, if you want to have the equipment leased out to you, essentially, and that's basically what made it feel so bad, is that you were signing up for 2 years of the stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, 2 years is a long time. I don't even know what's going to happen in the next 2 months. I can't sign up for something for 2 years.
All right. Fubo TV, this is announcing that they've now got the integration into the Apple TV's app, which means you can now find any of the available streaming games and events that are available on Fubo TV directly into the Apple TV's interface and search for various items. Fubo TV also has a couple of their own show offerings that they have, like there's a J.J. Abrams produced show. Called what was it called? Anyways, there's a lot of different Swagger, which is a Kevin
Explosions and Lens Flare.
That sounds about right. So.
But yeah, so I mean, this is big news if you're an Apple TV user, and especially if you're an Apple TV user and you want to check out the new football league, the AFL, AAF or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, is that on Fubo?
I believe Fubo is one of the few providers that carry the right channels to get it. So, and Fubo's cheap. That's the best thing. I mean, it's like, I think I was paying $16. If Fubo's the one that, even though I don't care about the sports, it was the service that if I had to pay for a over-the-top service for myself, I think Fubo is, or maybe it's Philo. No, I liked Philo. Never mind. I don't remember Fubo. I remember not hating Fubo.
There's so many of these things are running together.
Exactly, with the funny names. No, I like Philo. But I believe Fubo, because they're the sports-centric one,
Philo? Yes. Philly Sports, Philly Cheesesteak? Come on, which one is it?
See, I should know because Philo was the character in the 2 greatest movies ever made. Any Which Way You Can and Any Which Way But Loose.
Okay.
Or origination of Right Turn Clyde. Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Boy, you like anything with Clyde in it, do you?
Why wouldn't you?
That's fair enough.
Just like your favorite band might be Matthew Ross.
No. I don't think
if you listen to them, you might find out that they are.
Who knows? They might sound familiar, too. Who knows? Android TV is getting a little tiny update. Mostly it's providing you with rounded corners on your icons and the new updated Google Sans font inside the interface. Google Sans font has been noticed the fact that it will be saving a lot of screen real estate on various things you use, and it's still easy to read on the eyes. And the rounded corners just basically makes it a little bit more, a little nicer. It's little things like that do help in interfaces. So
I don't get it, but oh well. You want rounded corners? We can do rounded corners. There you go. Wow! Matt got rounded corners.
Woo!
I can't change you to Google Sans though.
Oh. I feel so nice. Very nice. Woo.
Fancy, Matt.
Hey, very Diamond Club.
Not as fancy as me.
We'll give you more rounded.
Whoa!
I look like I'm in a capsule.
That's our week's news.
Yeah, I've been waiting for a meaningful Android TV update for a while. I'm really depressed
that you got rounded corners.
This is what it is.
And a new font.
Yay.
So you're probably, if you're going to get a new update to anything as far as the Google Android TV solution, you're probably going to have to wait till Google I/O. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Google, continue to break my heart. Carry on. What's next?
well, that is the end of our news. So I don't know what's next.
Oh wait, what about Philo? Philo updated their Android TV app with new features.
Did I miss that one?
Yeah.
Oh well, hold on. I don't even see it in the rundown.
Oh, did it? Oh, hold on.
Now it's in the rundown. Jeez, Matt,
that's Matthew.
No, don't link to that.
This is the one we were talking about when I was adding it. I must have
Google
forgot.
almost linked somebody named Matthew Ross's account onto this. So
no, that was the one I put in the chat. The band.
Oh, the band, nice. So that's been okay. Philo has been updating their Android app, and it looks like they've got themselves some new features. And I've not read this, so I'm doing this live.
Yeah, so they rolled out an update mainly with bug fixes and the ability to add live channels to your home screen, which is nice because then you can just cut down a lot of the browsing.
That's good.
But this is also shortly after they announced the addition of MTV Classic to the lineup. So now, with according to the story, now with your $16 a month package, you get classic MTV shows such as Daria, Beavis and Butthead, Aeon Flux, Run's House, Pimp My Ride, Cribs, and other stupid MTV stuff. That seemed really awesome when I was 12. Yeah, I mean, Philo's been they've been kind of slow with their updates, but they have been regularly putting out updates. So
I'm sorry, that list of various Philo of the MTV Classic, I don't see AMP on there, so I don't care.
Yeah, well, it may be. I doubted they listed all of their. But one other thing, Philo also recently announced a deal to let federal government employees get a free month because of the recent government shutdown. So good on you, Philo.
That was nice of them.
I know they're basically hoping that those people will stick around or forget to unsubscribe when that month runs out and the paychecks start up again. So yeah, whatever you can do to get people in the door. I do like that this story has a picture of our Me Box.
That might be the new one, actually.
I tried to buy one of the new ones. I tried to buy one a couple times, and they're never in any stores.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That means they're selling well.
Or they're just not stocking them on the shelves.
Either that. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I guess that brings us to the end, and this is the point where we like to say thank you to our favorite people out there, the people that make this show happen every week. Yes, they are the patrons. They are the people that went out of their way and against all logic and chose to support this show on a monetary basis. So, thank you. You know, we want to find ways to bring your voice into the show, suggestions, feedback. You know, there's things that we could be doing that we haven't even thought of, and the patrons, they've got the loudest voice out there in the Discord with the special ranks and early access to RSS feeds. If you are an audio listener, that is kind of right now your best bet for getting the audio feed every week. So if you are not currently a patron and you would like to support this show, that is patreon.com/the VOD Squad. And we will not beat this dead horse. But the dead horse that we will beat
No.
is the VOD Squad is in dead last, and I think this is gonna stay that way. I didn't even bother updating our page on for the movie draft because why?
We need to ask Big
I mean,
Voice
even
Jay.
Big Voice Jay has given up.
No, we need to ask Big Voice Jay if he would do us the favor of doing a final one when the 20th comes around, which is when I think we're actually. And so if we can get one last hurrah out of him for that, that would be really great.
Although, while I said beat this dead horse, I do want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for failing so miserably that I wasn't in last place.
You're
and it's
so
not
welcome.
even a close finish. See, if I just squeaked by, then I would have felt really bad. But yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm still very bitter about number of these numbers. But yeah, still no word on the movie draft for summer. But
we still have at least a couple more weeks before this one's over, so it's understandable it's not here yet. That being
said, we've got 2, or no, I think next week is the last week.
I believe next week is the last week, so we will be finished after that. We can put this to bed.
So it looks like nobody's gonna get to do Captain Marvel, right? Because Captain Marvel's coming out soon, isn't it? Or is it a summer movie?
I don't know. I do know that the end is officially on the 22nd, not on the. So we do have the end of next week.
Okay. Yep.
Will be the event.
March. Yep. In March, and I don't think the summer draft typically starts that early, so
no.
Yep, no Captain Marvel. That okay, I guess, but somebody will be able to get Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man Far From Home. And Shazam.
There are every single week there is a good movie to pick. So,
yep.
This is going to be an interesting summer. The only question is who gets Endgame and for how much of percentage do they get it? Because
Endgame's one of those ones that you kind of have to, because anybody that saw the first one,
you got to see the second one.
You have to see the second one.
Right.
Well, I never saw the first one, so I don't have to see the second one.
It's okay.
And that's how I know it's going to do well. Because I have no desire to watch it.
Okay, that's fine. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, with that painful display over, let's get into rants and raves. What you guys got? Who's got something?
I got something. I really don't spend a lot of time watching too much television, except for every once in a while just ups and downs to watch whatever's on when my wife is watching something. But I've come across a series of interview show on YouTube. It's called Hot Ones, which is a guy who sits down and he's got some hot wings that he was sharing with the guy he's interviewing with, and he's asking him questions. He's having them eat each one of these 10 wings, and each one is hotter than the next one, up to ridiculous heat levels. And I've only seen like 3 or 4 of these, but they are really. I mean, he's a decent interviewer. He's not, it's not the best interviewer I've ever seen, but he's got good questions. He's bringing them on. He's got a lot of people. He's got brings up a lot of interesting things going on with these celebrities that he's got on there, who are on there. The first one I watched was Alton Brown, which was excellent. Mm-hmm. By the way, watching the Alton Brown one, I totally enjoyed that. And
then Terry Crews.
Did not watch Terry Crews.
Oh, you need to watch Terry Crews.
Okay, well, Terry Crews might be my next one. That show kept me up pretty late last night watching the 3 I watched, and I was like, oh, okay, I can't watch any more of these because I will just stay up until 5 in the morning if I do.
So I just want to say, Matt.
Yes.
You fell victim of corporate propaganda.
I'm sure I did.
Because Hot Ones is a hot sauce company.
Yeah, I know that he has his own in there, and it's
that's why they started doing that, was to advertise their sauce. And
I get it.
And I'm not opposed to it. Any way you get your brand out there, especially when you can get Alton Brown saying, "I like yours the best."
Yeah, exactly.
That's all the advertisement you need. He probably sold 1 million bottles the next day.
But here's the thing. I can't stand hot food. I'm one of those people who even mild even the sriracha is like, that's a little warm for me. I don't think I can handle it. That's a lot of heat for me. So I would not be able to survive that. But get me in front of a guy like, if I were somehow sat down with the gentleman for Hot Ones, I would also then pull out assorted things that are sour. and say, well, for every one of these you have to do the sour ones, and because I love sour foods. I love sour candies and things like that. So I would be seeing if he can handle the sour stuff as much as I can handle the hot stuff. Which he probably, that's the point.
I was at a restaurant last week, and I was texting my friend, and I will bring it up, so I can get it right. That because I could not believe the conversation that I was hearing behind me.
Oh yeah.
So, I gotta go back. There we go. There was a couple that was complaining that their food was too spicy, and demanding to take it back. They went as far as complaining that the Parmesan butter was too spicy. I don't even know what Parmesan butter is, but I can't think of anything in there that is it said the ketchup is too spicy. They sent the ribs back because they're too spicy.
Okay.
And then they committed the worst crime imaginable. They demanded they bring them a steak instead, extra well done.
Okay.
And I just wanted to turn around and throttle these people, because I mean, they were like, they wanted different ketchup because the ketchup was too spicy. It was just regular Heinz.
No,
it's not. No, it was just like a regular bottle of Heinz, and this ketchup is too spicy.
I've seen spicy ketchups, and they can be good.
No, there are, but this wasn't that specialty stuff. I started to wonder if maybe these people didn't learn the sensations correctly, kind of like when if you're taught the wrong words for things, you call things by the wrong names. So I was thinking, maybe too salty, because all of the things they were describing as too were definitely salty.
Parmesan is salty,
and I mean the butter. Yeah, I mean. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not synesthesia, because otherwise they would have said it's too purple, or these ribs are too loud. So I was mentally went through my checklist of things.
My intolerance for heat it gets down to if the people who do black peppercorn steaks, those are really hot for me. That's how I cannot handle heat. My wife has been slowly working on me for her fajitas. I'm making me, and I can do the fajitas with a Coke. So, and she puts some, she'll sometimes do jalapeno, sometimes just do hot flakes.
Wabbit Magic correctly points out that salt is technically a spice, so the sensation is savory. So I think they were confusing
Ah,
spicy with savory.
maybe.
Savory would be what I meant.
It's too
Thank you,
savory.
Wyatt.
This is too savory.
Yes. Um, but uh, my friend stated that she thinks I found the most most Minnesotan people that have ever existed. But then I let her know that my ex in laws would spice up stuff. They would make spicy versions of stuff by adding ketchup. It's like a
Come on, the
spice.
fish
Oh, I
sauce.
made a spicy goulash. Yeah, it was just like a goulash that they added ketchup to. It's like
Ketchup is a fish sauce, people. Okay.
yeah. Ketchup is a crime all in its own. But
Can burn if you eat too much of it, too concentrated, because it does have a fair amount of vinegar, but it is not spicy.
But if you eat too much of it, that's typically that's like deadening of the tongue or something that the burn is like the next day as you're passing that out of your system. Just pure vinegar. Uh, but I don't know. What you got, Mike?
Um, yeah, I mean, still finishing up the Lucifer, which I'm still really enjoying that. Um, and as I mentioned before the show, trying to not get too into Apex Legends because that might productivity.
You've only
And
played one game of Apex Legends. What are you going to do after this show?
um, well, it's getting late, so I may be able to convince myself not to start it.
You're not sucked in yet.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's definitely been on my mind ever since I played it. Though, pretty fun.
Your powers in Apex Legends have become powerful, but you're no Apex Legend yet.
Yeah. So even though I unintentionally went on a rant, I will put in there real quick. There is a new show on TBS that I am absolutely in love with. I've been waiting for it for a couple weeks. I've been seeing commercials on YouTube TV. It's called Miracle Workers. I don't know if you guys have seen anything about this.
Hmm.
Oh.
Essentially, it takes place inside a corporation, Heaven Incorporated, where God comes to the decision, you know what? I'm done. He calls a company meeting and says, I'm gonna blow up the world. I'm done. I'm gonna do something new. It stars Harry Potter and Steve Buscemi as God. The blonde lady from The Office is an HR kind of person. It's cool because it breaks down heaven as if it were a corporation to all the different departments, and and it's really funny. I've only gotten halfway. Like I said, I've been waiting for a couple weeks, and then today when I searched because I saw a commercial that said tomorrow, and then I realized, oh wait, this is the DVR. This was like 2 weeks ago, and I went in and I searched, and it was like, yep, that first episode's been sitting there for like 2 weeks. I've been
So
waiting for it because I kept seeing old commercials.
so this is TBS.
Yep.
Um, is it on Hulu?
I don't know if it's gonna be on Hulu. Eventually it probably will. TBS doesn't typically show new stuff immediately on Hulu. But TBS does have a free app. So like
Oh,
on your Roku or whatever, you can download the TBS app. And then
so
because that's how I used to watch the guest book. And
and there's been 3 episodes so far.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's It's really funny so far. There's like basically a group of the employees decide they're gonna, or one of them makes a bet with God that, and if she wins, she gets to, he won't destroy the Earth. They've got basically like 2 weeks. So it's got, yeah, Harry Potter, um, uh, Daniel Radcliffe, Steve Buscemi. This is also a Lorne Michaels show. So, I mean, that kind of gives you an idea of uh, the humor.
Looks good.
But yeah,
just watching the trailer. Looks really fun.
And
sounds interesting.
And I won't say too much about it because there's some things that I thought were really funny that would ruin. But I really enjoyed as they kind of did. They moved through all the different departments, and you saw quick like what they were doing or working on, and it's got potential. So yeah, if you want to see Steve Buscemi as a disheveled like god that's given up on humanity, check out Miracle Workers.
I'll go checking this out. That looks good.
Alrighty, well, I think this is the point where we can wrap this up. If you are watching this after the fact, we get together every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central on Twitch. You should join us. This is where all the fun stuff happens. You get to be in the chat, and you get to shout and make jokes and submit titles. And those of you that are here, head on over to tvs.showbot.tv. The link is in the chat. We've got titles to vote on. We'll do that in the after show. Just a reminder to everybody that February movie party will be this Saturday at 10 p.m. Central. Even though I have been way underperforming in my duties and haven't been making any announcements for a while, it is Black History Month, so and it's also Valentine's Day, so we're gonna watch a Valentine's movie. And a documentary. One is Black Dynamite, the other is Shaft. So you can decide which is which. Join us; it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. That's you can follow that at DC Movie Party on Twitter. For the VOD Squad, we are at the VOD Squad on Twitter, and then twitch.tv/the VOD Squad. And if you got a couple bucks you want to part with, that's patreon.com. And you could probably guess the rest. Right? All right. Alrighty, guys. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Guys, thanks for joining me. And,
no problem.
We'll go ahead and shut this down. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.